If you have not seen the Nick Fuentes meltdown videos, you need to watch them. This kid who was a huge Trump supporter has finally reached the realization that Trump doesn't care about any of his supporters, his base, his voters, any of that, because he finally admitted that he lost the 2020 election to Joe Biden. So this kid is on his live and he's asking all the questions he should have been asking himself and figuring things out that the rest of us already knew. He's like, well, if he lost, like, why did he do this? Like, why did he say these things? Why did we do any of the things that we did? And he talks about how he's on a no-fly list, about how his banking is restricted, all kinds of things that he can no longer do because of actions that he took on behalf of Trump, right? And how many other people have gotten arrested or are on probation because of January 6th and all this other kind of stuff. And I'm like, bro, why weren't you asking yourself these questions from the jump? Like, how the fuck did you not see that this was a grand deception? But it also made something click for me because I thought that Trump supporters were just racist. I thought that they were just people who didn't truly understand politics or the political process or history. You know, I thought that they were just simple-minded individuals. I'm not gonna lie. But what I'm realizing is that Trump is just a massive cult leader. Like, I knew this, but I guess watching him put the pieces together, I'm like, damn, like, you kind of love this guy. Like, you thought that he loved you too. Like, he was filling some kind of a hole in your life, in your mind, in your heart that made you so dedicated to him and his cause. And now you're hurt because you realize he doesn't love you as much as you thought he did. He doesn't care about you at all. That's a tough realization to reach. So, you know, enough respect to him because he's finally coming around, but now he seems like he's on a bit of a vengeance kick. So we'll see how that goes.
All of that, like, we went out there, we made this tremendous sacrifice because we were true believers, just like we were in the beginning, and now Trump goes on an interview and he's taken a new track and says, I actually don't even believe the election was stolen anymore. I lost by a whisker. Really? Really? And so for me, it's like I said the other night, it's just over.
This is pretty brave of you to admit, and I'm going to say all of this with a grain of salt, right? Because I'm not a doctor. But here's the thing. People who are more susceptible to brainwashing tend to come from abused backgrounds or have difficult relationships with their family, don't have a strong sense of community, don't have strong friendship bonds, you know, like people around them who could check them and check on them and be like, yo, you've been saying some crazy stuff lately. I don't really agree with that. Like, people who they respect, people who respect them, who they can have honest conversation with. But when it comes to the news, I like to read the same topic from like 3 or 4 different sources. I don't get all of my information from one place. And before I say anything, I cross-reference things against multiple sources. So that's what I do. When I was learning how to write my first research papers and stuff, they used to tell us, oh, like, make sure that you check 3 sources before you take something as fact. I can't find a hard rule for that, but I still kind of run with that a little bit, 3 or 4 different sources. And I try to make sure that those sources have different political bends to them. So if I read something on CNN, I might go and read the same topic on Fox News. I wouldn't actually do that because fuck Fox News, but I would go and read it on like the BBC and Al Jazeera and DW News or something. Like, I would read it from a bunch of different places. Also, read books on topics so that you have a deeper understanding of it. Because when you know what you know and when you know yourself, it's harder for other people to tell you what you know. And it's harder for other people to bend you and tell you who you are. So, like, find a little bit of purpose, which I know is hard, but, like, who are you? I am this. I am that. You have to be able to answer those questions for yourself, right? When you know yourself, it's harder to be manipulated. When you know what you know, it's harder for people to fuck with your sense of knowledge and what you understand. Nobody can take that from you.